Hey guys, welcome to Green Yatra Sustainable Saturday series where each week we take a topic on the environmental issues and we talk about it. So this week we have with us Abhishek Anand, who is a research associate with us at Green Yatra, and he will be talking to us about hydrogen as a fuel. So Abhishek, this is I think this topic has been in the news for a while, where people have been switching from electric, from petrol to electric to hydrogen.
Yes.
So how do you think, like, how is it, how is the transition and what is the status? What would you be telling us today about?
So I will be discussing whether hydrogen has a potential to become the fuel for the future or not. So we have seen from the various years, from various past years, that we are struggling with issues of climate change and other issues. So that there are so many emissions from steel industries, automobile industries. So we are looking forward to shift into cleaner source of energy, which generates less and less emissions and help to protect the environment.
So hydrogen is a relatively greener this thing.
Kind of. But
Okay.
there are the various methods of production, which we will see in this coming slides. The hydrogen as a fuel is a green fuel. It doesn't emit anything except for the water, but its production has the various facets which may be which may be related to pollution, or it might be the clean source of energy.
Right. So the fuel itself is not pollutant, but the way we obtain the fuel might, the process, and I think the manufacturing process, not manufacturing,
Yes,
sorry,
production
extraction, I
process.
guess. We will be
That.
extracting, right?
Yes.
That might have some negative implications.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So let me start with the presentation. Uh, See, from the word itself, we can understand what does hydrogen means. Hydro means it is derived from the two Greek words hydro and gens. Hydro, as we usually know that it is water, and gens means to generate, that to form. So hydrogen is the water forming element, and it is it was discovered by Henry Cavendish in 1776, and this element is the most abundant element found in the entire universe. It is estimated that around 90% of the yeah, universe is composed of hydrogen. Uh, but in our Earth, in our atmosphere, it doesn't exist. It doesn't. It is very rare as a hydrogen molecule. But we can see its compounds like water, like in sugar, in methane. It exists as a molecule. The compounds of different things.
Okay.
Hmm. And you know that it has only one electron in the outermost shell. So it is generally bonded with another hydrogen to make it stable.
Right.
That's why we call it is S2. It's generally represented as S2.
Okay, yeah, I think even with hydrocarbons, its property of, with its one electron,
Hmm.
it binds with a lot of things and creates water as well. So
Hmm.
I think it's a very prolific organic. It's used in, it is very prolific in organic materials, organic compounds.
I didn't get you. Um,
No, hydrogen is very abundant in organic compounds. That's what I was saying.
yes, yes, that is true.
Carbohydrates,
That's why
fats, lipids, and proteins.
and that is why to obtain hydrogen as a molecule, it's very difficult for us.
Okay.
And there are various processes through which we can generate the hydrogen molecules. So, as you know, it is placed at the first most element of the periodic table. It is classified as non-metal, and it is generally gas at the room temperature. In our atmosphere, the percent of hydrogen found is only 0.0055%. So it is very rare in our atmosphere. And the thing is that when you react hydrogen with oxygen, then it generates a lot of heat, and on the only byproduct it's water. So that heat can be used to move the turbine or the motor, which can be helpful in various industries like steel and manufacturing, oil and
Abhishek, actually, so what was your point last? How does it generate heat again?
when hydrogen reacts water. So
Hmm.
it is kind of a yeah, exothermic reaction. So it generates lot of heat. When you might have seen that one hydrogen balloon when gets lighted up with a
Right,
fire.
right, right.
It's,
Okay,
it
so hydro when creation of water is exothermic.
yeah.
Oh, that's a very
Mm.
interesting thing. So,
Yeah,
I I did not actually know that. So
yeah,
when hydrogen react, just tell me if I'm wrong. When
yeah.
hydrogen reacts with water, there's an exothermic reaction that creates water.
Sorry, me when hydrogen reacts with oxygen,
Oxygen, sorry,
not
sorry. When
water. Yeah.
hydrogen reacts with oxygen, there's
Mm.
an exothermic reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Is that the base fuel that we use? That heat that is generated?
Through which yes, through which the heat is generated. That heat energy can be used
Right.
in
Okay.
various ways.
Okay. Interesting. So I think water will be a byproduct of this reaction, and
Yes, and nothing else. So there is no emissions like carbon dioxide and
and
other things.
so just a curiosity. So will this
Hmm.
water be like distilled water and like without any impurities?
Ah, yes, it will be very pure water. I don't know matlab, if we can use that water or not.
Right. Right. Right.
One thing I can say that matlab, this practice has been used by NASA scientists also for their matlab, various missions when they go to
Okay.
moon or that space. So they usually use hydrogen fuels for their rocket ships, and the water generated by that is drink by astronauts. So there is no wastewater also matlab, created. So water is used by the astronauts for drinking purpose.
Okay. So that means hydrogen fuel is already there in use.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Interesting. Thank
Yeah,
you.
actually, it was used for one air balloon also. I think you might be aware of Hindenburg incident. That air balloon was flying using the that hydrogen gas only, but it got the yeah, matlab, it got the fire.
Oh, the first hot air balloon that used
Yes, yes,
hydrogen
yes, yes.
as a right,
Uh,
right, right, right. But
hmm.
I don't think they used it as a fuel per se. They used it as a lighter gas, right?
No, no, it was used as a fuel. That's why matlab, it was used as a fuel only.
Okay, it was used as a fuel. So,
Hmm.
Ani, I actually thought that they used it instead of helium as a gas to go on to
So, as I already told you that the heat used that heat generated when hydrogen reacts with oxygen can be used to move the turbine. We can that energy can be used for various purpose, and you can see that hydrogen has more energy per unit of weight compared with other natural gas or other alternatives we use today. But here you can see that hydrogen is thrice more better than petrol or diesel.
that's like a big margin. It's
Yeah,
almost double of. It's more than double.
yeah. And generally petrol and diesel gives a mileage of about I think 25 to 20 to 25 kilometer per liter. But if you use 1 kg of hydrogen, car may go up to 60 miles. That is around 100 kilometer. So it will be very better way to reduce our emissions also and use our जो भी
Yeah, I
जो
can see
भी
how that is true here.
हाँ
That is actually
yeah
it's a really good. It looks like a very bright picture here. The whole
yeah but there are various challenges which we'll see in the subsequent slides.
right. And yeah, I mean definitely there will be challenges, but like it's
Hmm.
giving you double the more than double
Yeah.
the amount of energy,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it does not have any emissions. That is like a
Yeah.
win. Looks like a
True.
win-win situation from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are various methods of producing hydrogen. The first one is gasification, in which we use any carbonate compound like coal or anything else, and we heat it under a very high temperature, like 7 to 800 degrees Celsius, in the presence of oxygen or steam. In which that coal, that the get breaking down into its components. Some syngas is produced. Syngas is nothing but synthetic gas. That is the combination of carbon oxide and hydrogen. And after that thing, carbon dioxide is again treated with steam to to remove the carbon oxide and to produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen. And that way we can use hydrogen, and that carbon can be stored or it can be emitted in the air. So gasification is generally used for coal, and it is the most polluted way to produce
Right.
hydrogen gas. Yeah. The next one is methane reforming, also known as SMR, in which methane, as you know, that is a natural gas, CH4 compound, which when treated with water, water actually it's a steam. At, at it is I think treated with a very high temperature, around same to 800 degrees Celsius, with a catalyst called nickel, in which that methane is broken down into components like carbon oxide and the S2 molecule, 3S2 molecule. Again, there is one other reaction that is called gas shift reaction, in which that carbon oxide is used to treat it with water again to produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen. And
So
it is also not a good way to produce hydrogen, since carbon dioxide is eventually produced as a byproduct then.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. But one more thing, actually, I have a doubt. Not a doubt, but a question. So, in the second, the steam methane
Hmm.
reforming, we have to add. I mean, we have to heat the water first, right?
Water will be in steam condition. That is, it will
Right.
be in
So,
vapor. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
method we use to heat the water, for example,
Hmm.
that will also cause, like, I don't know, maybe we use coal to generate heat, or whatever fuel we use to generate that heat. That
Yes,
itself will
true.
also have a problem, right?
Yes, that is true. Yes. For that also, you are maybe using heat to to turn the water into like a vapor
Okay.
state. Yeah. So next is the electrolysis of water. That we have already done experiments in our school days, and that when you put water and you pass electricity through it. So hydrogen ions and oxygen ions get produced. The water is broken down into its constituents. That is the better source of producing hydrogen. But the thing is that the electricity which you are using depends on what energy you are taking
Right.
it.
Source of the
At a
electricity.
renewable source or any fossil fuels, various methods are there. So we have potential in electrolysis, where you can use to produce large amount of hydrogen for various industries. And the last one is pyrolysis. Involves heating of organic compounds in the absence of oxygen, not in the presence of oxygen or any water, in which the organics thing is broken down into components. It is like treating methane with high temperatures. But the thing is that the carbon uh, is produced in solid state, not in the vapor state. So that solid state can be used for other various purpose as well. So that is it is better than steam methane reforming and gasification.
Okay.
Yeah.
So among the four, and which is the best method? Like, is there a best method?
Actually, the best method will be through electrolysis. But if that electricity is provided by any renewable source of energy.
Right. So,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting.
So can I go to next slide?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the color spectrum, or you can say the color scale, which is used to define how the hydrogen is produced through which process. The white one is naturally occurring hydrogen, which is very rare in atmosphere, which is hard to use. The second one is black or brown. Black and brown depends upon the coal that we use. Uh, Black coal or the brown coal,
Hmm.
which is also called lignite.
Okay.
That's gasification method I already told about. It is the most polluted way to produce hydrogen. The next is blue one. It is formed through the steam reforming method using natural gas, but that carbon dioxide formed is ये put underground of the land, so that it doesn't emit emissions into the atmosphere. So it is a bit better. The gray one is same as the blue one, but in that it doesn't involve the storing of carbon. That CCUS means that is the carbon capture utilization storage. That is another technology which I think I have talked about in my earlier sessions. The next one is turquoise. That is the methane pyrolysis, in which the solid carbon is produced.
Okay.
The base method, actually, you asked is the through nuclear energy, but there is no development around it. As uh, this purple and pink, see, this is not the universal convention. It may might differ from region to region.
Yeah. So this color coding,
Hmm.
basically, there is no difference in the final product, just how we get it.
Yes, yes, it is related to the production thing only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
after we
How?
get the hydrogen, there is no
Hmm.
difference. The fuel we get is the
Yes.
same.
But in
Okay.
some things, we are not getting the carbon dioxide as the byproduct.
Right. The byproducts are different because of the
Yes, yes, yes.
manufacturing process.
Yeah. And the last one is the green one that is producing hydrogen using the renewable source of energy that can be solar, wind, or hydro.
Okay.
And that as a whole country or industry is looking for green hydrogen only because I think you have seen that already we are having electric vehicles and we are more into expanding our solar wind energy by 2030. So you
This
can,
is actually quite interesting. The color scale and the process.
yeah. See, yellow hydrogen is a subset of green hydrogen only. Yellow hydrogen is just used using solar energy.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I.
solar energy is just the kind of renewable energy only. Yeah. So, on 4th Jan 2023, our Honorable Prime Minister released this new initiative called National Green Hydrogen Mission, and which he has a set budget of 19,000 around 19,000 crore. Under this mission, these are the following points which he tries to produce or make it reality by 2030. Like having a production capacity of at least 5 metric million ton of green hydrogen, which will able to generate over 6 lakh jobs, and it will be able to see right now we are 90% of our fossil fuels are getting imported from various countries like Middle East countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, United States, Russia. So it will help us to reduce our dependency on them, and they have also a target of becoming energy independent by 2047 and net zero by 2070. So we go through this. This might help us to make our own energy without depending on others. And various countries in 2022, like European Unions and United States, have placed to make their to shift their energy source from fossil fuels to hydrogen also. The European Union has placed to reduce their dependence on Russian imports by about 10%.
I actually have a question.
Uh,
So, do the US and the Russia, do these guys actually, do they use hydrogen like the common public? Is it used as a fuel?
right now, there is no much hype about it, but I can say that in China, Japan, and United States, people are using right now. In I think UK, around in 2019, 10 people bought the hydrogen fuel cars. They are also called FCEV, that is fuel cell electric vehicles.
Okay.
So in 2022, the thing is that we need to have that fueling stations and refueling infrastructure. Okay. So in 2022, we crossed 1,000 mark of having fuel stations, and China is having the maximum share. I think they have around 300 filling stations. We
Hydrogen
currently,
fuel stations.
yes,
So,
which we currently don't have in India right now.
okay.
Uh, so that is the issue, and I think India is also working. I think yeah, the Indian Oil Corporation that is in Faridabad, they are trying to produce hydrogen. Yeah.
That's actually quite interesting that even we are looking at hydrogen.
Hmm.
Never heard of it as a kid, and suddenly
Yeah.
this new fuel source,
Hmm.
revolutionary thing. Because from
Yeah.
childhood we have only heard about petrol and diesel.
Yeah. Yeah. That was our traditional thing, but we are trying to move. We know that with the
But
things.
so the hydrogen being practically used is a very like.
Yeah.
I mean, I was aware of the fuel system, but
Hmm.
I didn't know that they are being used. in
Actually, there are some prototypes made for like
Okay.
some automobile company has made prototype in which they are using hydrogen fueled truck cars.
So it's not widely used by the common public.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
See, Toyota, I think Toyota only has created a hydrogen fuel car that is called Mirai, I think.
Okay.
And I saw one video related to that. Nitin Gadkari, who is the road minister, was using that, and he was showing that how we can use the hydrogen fuel car in future, and there will be no noise also. When you travel by that hydrogen fuel car, there will be no noise,
Okay.
no. You can just feel that something is moving. It will be too. You will not able to feel anything. So
Systems of the future.
yeah, but the thing is, as you know, there are various challenges which we will be talking about this. Right now, the cost of producing green hydrogen from renewable energy is very high. As you can see that it is around 3.5 to 4.5 per kilogram. That means it translates into around 350 to 450 rupees, or you can say 500. It's very expensive as compared to pyrolysis, which is around $6, or petrol is 0.3 per liter. And it's excluding tax. That is this is the cost of production.
Okay. So that it is more than 10 times the cost.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we also don't have that much on the scale of wind energy or solar energy, because they fluctuate also. So we
Right.
need to have first of all that, then only we will be able to produce this hydrogen thing. The next is refueling stations and fueling infrastructure cost. So if we are able to generate large amount of hydrogen, then I think this won't be problem. If we have money and we can invest into this. The only thing is we need to have proper electrolyzers. See right now two kinds of electrolyzers are popular. The one is alkaline electrolyzers, I think, which has around 61% of market share around the world. It is very cost effective and have a very high life and efficiency. But thing is, as you know that a sun or the wind energy is not very it gets fluctuated. Okay, so that would not be able to give proper amount of electricity, proper amount of hydrogen. The other one is PEM, that is proton exchange membrane. That is a bit costly, but and it is very compact in size, and which can withstand the fluctuations of these or renewable energy. So
Right.
right now, I think in 2022 only, Reliance has partnership with Stisdal. Okay, that is a Denmark-based company to produce that alkaline to produce alkaline electrolyzers in India. And one more US-based company, that is Ohmium. In 2022, I think they have created a uh, gig factory in Bengaluru for manufacturing of uh, proton exchange membrane electrolyzers. So it will be very much uh, it will have various potential if we are able to make that and take it forward. The
Okay.
other thing is hydrogen imbreatable dilemma. As you know, the hydrogen is the smallest molecule in the entire periodic table. So the container in which it is stored now, the hydrogen molecules might penetrate into the metal and cause make it brittle, which might lead to leakages and
Oh,
make it break down.
so react with the
Uh,
tank itself.
yes, yes, true.
Okay, that
So
is
the tank
that's
has
scary.
to be, yeah. So tank has to be also made very thick, and it should be specially coated with some other materials so that there is no problem of that hydrogen penetrating the that metal.
Okay.
And there is some issue that it might make the heavy, but it won't matter that much, because matlab, it will matter a little bit only. But the cost will be very expensive to store that.
Okay.
Yeah. This just shared that China has large number of filling stations. I think around 250 to 300. The rest is followed by Japan, South Korea, and Germany, and USA. You can see that already some people are having and they are using it. So
So, although it is expensive, it is still
Mhm.
in use, and even after the
Yes,
challenge,
yes.
there are some prototypes or there are some products in the market that are
Yes.
fueled by hydrogen.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And in your last session, also, I think you talked about the matlab, that digital footprint about the various Google or Microsoft data centers are going through. Matlab, they need electricity of fossil fuels so that they can keep their data in their matlab, supercomputers and that all things. So in I think 2022 only that Microsoft told that their my data centers will be matlab, handled by the hydrogen fuel. Not all, but they can do. They are doing in a pilot project. So, matlab, all are taking there some initiatives in their way so that matlab, they can see if they are able to matlab,
Okay.
reduce emissions and produce their whatever matlab, climate actions targets they are. So it's a very long way to go. Right now, matlab, we are matlab, doing it good, matlab, and let's see matlab, what is can be the matlab,
I think
ramifications.
eventually even we will catch up and we will
Yes,
also have our own
yeah,
company then technologies.
yes. And it means eventually will make India as self reliant in the energy in the sector of energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my device.
So this was the last slide.
Sorry.
This was the last slide. So yeah,
Okay. So as of now, I don't have. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for this wonderful session. Very
yeah,
insightful, and you shared a lot of new information with us on a
yeah.
topic that is not as much discussed.
Mm.
To
Mhm.
the rest of you, thank you all for watching. So this is a sustainable Saturday session that we have on every Saturday, as the name suggests. With that, we come to the end of the session. Abhishek, would you like to say anything, or should we end the session?
We can end the session. Yeah.
Okay. Before we go, remember everyone, please do hit the follow button and the share and the like, subscribe, whatever you can. Do support us because this is how we want to get this information out to the world. And having said that, goodbye everyone. See you all next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaden.